This presentation is for academic purposes only, in fulfillment of my differentiated instruction for individual learning course. In this PowerPoint presentation, I will define what workstations are and give an example of workstations that meet the individual learner's needs based on a theme unit, parts of a plant. Let's get started. Workstations, or better known as centers. What is a workstation, or sometimes known as a center? According to Gregory and Chapman, a center is a collection of materials designed purposely with a goal in mind. By working with workstation materials, students are able to develop, discover, create, and learn a task at their own pace. What do students gain from working in centers? Students are able to get a hands-on experience in centers that provide them opportunities to remediate, enhance, or extend their knowledge on skill, concept, standard, or topic that has been introduced in class. They also get to explore and pursue areas of interest, work at their level of need and be challenged, be creative and can help them become critical problem solvers, manipulate different materials in a variety of ways, and they can build persistence. When creating workstations, teachers need to use materials that they taught with and used for instruction, create centers that can be used year-round. They just need to change out the material to reflect the theme, levels, strategies, and topics that are being taught. Make sure all students participate in workstations. Make sure materials are differentiated to meet the needs of all students and their learning abilities. Also, when creating workstations, teachers need to give each center an interesting title to separate each center from other classroom activities. Keep materials in a safe place and easily accessible to students. Be reasonable. Make sure students know what they are responsible for in centers, i.e., example, cleanup and evaluation, etc., and what teachers are responsible for. Examples, making sure centers have all materials needed, rules are established, and other things like that. Provide a wide range of learning alternatives. Provide tasks that range from easy to difficult. A good way to do this is to color code each level of mastery and assign a color to each student that goes along with their level of mastery. Post a set of instructions with each center. Establish time. For centers that students will be working on a task, make sure students are aware of how long centers will last and what is expected of them to accomplish during that set time. Help! Establish a system for students to use when needing assistance in a center. Evaluation. Establish and form the nature of assessment for each center. Will it be self-assessment or teacher assessment, formal or informal? Workstation centers. For this project, I chose to create centers on the theme, the life cycle of plants. This is an example of a multimedia center sign. The purpose of a multimedia center is to provide students with a well-organized and easily accessible collection of reliable sources, allowing them to become independent information seekers. The goals and an assessment used for a multimedia center. It provides students access to various types of information in a variety of formats. This can include online books, video, DVD, or computer programs which allow students to understand, enjoy, and produce creative work. To provide an atmosphere of collaborative learning in which students respect each other's ideas, backgrounds, and acknowledge the contributions of all human beings to the achievement of knowledge. Create an extension of the classroom lesson that will provide more meaningful learning while supporting classroom instruction. In this centers, the students will self-assess by completing the sequence of events chart after listening and watching the video. In the Multimedia Center, in this center, students will watch and listen to the story The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle, which is a story about the life cycle of a plant. Students will learn the names of plant parts, which helps build their vocabulary, and the time at which each part of a plant emerges or grows from the seed. The students will follow along with the video by writing down the sequence of events on their worksheet that follows along with the video. I've provided the video that will be used during the center. It's The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. This is a sample of those sequence of events charts that the kids could use during the center. This worksheet can be completed at any learning level, from entry-level learners who can draw pictures to the more advanced learners who can write complete sentences. The Big Book Center. This is an example of the Big Book Center, which on these signs you can also put what they gain through working in this center. For the center, they know that they can read a big book, point to the words, highlight star words, match words, and write responses to the big book that they are reading. The purpose of the Big Book Center is to provide students with an opportunity to practice reading and rereading a text. The activities that the students will engage in are ones that the teacher modeled during shared reading. The goals and assessment of a Big Book Center. The goal of the Big Book Center is to reinforce strategies and skills introduced during shared reading. Shared reading is a type of read aloud in which the teacher reads and rereads a big book with participation from the students. In this center, the students will be assessed by the teacher observing them while reading and interacting, and through their written response sheets. In the Big Book Center, the students will reread the text with a pointer, find specific letters and words, and mark them with highlighting tape and attend to punctuation cues. Complete a written response sheet of what they have read and learned. This is an example of a Big Book Center response sheet. The Science Center. The purpose of the Science Center is to provide students with the opportunity to enrich and enhance their appreciation and understanding of the parts of a plant through individual experience in the center. The goals and assessment of the Science Center. The goal is to learn how different systems can be self-sufficient, observe the different stages of a plant as it grows, such as the roots, stems, leaves, and flowers. In the center, they will self-assess by observing plant growth and documenting their observations. In the center, students will create a terrarium using the materials provided and follow the diagram of how to layer the items. For this particular center, I will provide a 2-liter bottle with the top cut off, pebbles or rocks, charcoal, moss, soil, and seeds. Then the students will get an example such as the one on your left, which gives how the plants or how the terrarium should be set up. So they will know that the pebbles go on the bottom, then they'll do a layer of charcoal, then moss, soil, then they'll add the seed, and then put a little bit more moss on, and then they will observe as the plant grows and develops. The Art Center sign. Again, this is an example of a sign where it tells what children can learn in this center. In art area, the children will learn creativity, problem solving, cause and effect, color concepts, art techniques, emotional expression, sharing and taking turns, and self-confidence. The purpose of the Art Center is to allow students the time to explore the colors, textures, and physical properties of materials provided. The emphasis is not on the finished product the students produce, but the process of interacting with the materials provided. The goals and assessment of an art center. The goal is for the students to use their creative thinking through art activities. It is to encourage students to think about the different ways to use the materials provided to create a work of art. For this particular theme, it would be parts of a plant. It allows students to express their ideas freely, and it helps students to build their intrinsic value through their unique ideas they express through art. This assessment would be used through observation and through the art they choose to create. In this center, I will provide students with a variety of materials ranging from clay to construction paper, tissue paper, seeds, items they collected on a nature walk, and a couple more things. I would then leave it open for them to create a piece of art that represents one or all of the stages of plant growth. Below are some examples of artwork that they could create. The Dramatic Play Center. This is a great place for students to grow. The purpose of the Dramatic Art Center is to engage children in both life and learning. It increases the students' understanding of the world they live in while developing personal skills that will help them be successful throughout their lives. The goals and assessment of a Dramatic Play Center. It enhances students' development in these areas, in social and emotional growth. By working together, they can come up with a show to perform, negotiate roles, and cooperate to bring it all together. They can also learn to cope with fears and worries, show empathy for others, and control their impulses. Physically, it helps students develop both gross and fine motor skills. Cognitively, when playing make-believe, students make use of pictures they have created in their minds to recreate past experiences, which help form abstract thinking. While working together, students also learn to share ideas and solve problems together. Language. Students learn to use their words to explain what they are doing. The students learn to ask and answer questions to fit the role they are playing. They build their vocabulary by incorporating new words appropriately and learn about the importance of reading and writing skills in everyday life by using the literacy materials that fill the area. Assessment would be done through teacher observation and interaction. To go along with the theme, I would create a flower shop in the Dramatic Play Center. Here, they could play many different roles. They could be the customer, or the shop owner, or they could be the salesperson. So through here, they could build their vocabulary by explaining the different types of plants that they sell, by telling a customer how to plant the seeds and the different stages of development that the plant will go through. They also learn about real-world stuff by learning to sell products. They are also using money, which helps them build their math skills, and they also work on their vocabulary by interacting with each other. Workstations, or centers if you prefer, and learning styles. When creating workstations, the individual learning styles and learning levels of every student needs to be taken into consideration. For the centers that I chose, I believe that the Dramatic Play Center, the Multimedia Center, the Science Center, the Art Center, and the Big Book Center would all be advantages for the verbal and linguistic learners. For the bodily and kinesthetic learners, I believe the Dramatic Play Center, Art Center, and Big Book Center would be a great asset to their learning. For the musical and rhythmic learners, I believe the Art Center and Dramatic Play Center would be a great place for them to learn. For the naturalists, I believe that the Science Center and even the Art Center, where they could go on a nature walk and create works of art through things that they've picked up on their nature walk, would be a great benefit for them. The Art Center and the Big Book Center would be great for the visual and spatial learners. And for interpersonal learners, I believe the Big Book Center, Dramatic Play Center, and Science Center would be great for them. For the logical and mathematical, the Science Center and Multimedia Center would be the place for them. And let's not forget the intrapersonal, where the Science Center, Dramatic Play, and Art Center would very much be a great place for them to learn. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I hope you have gained a lot of information from it, and I hope you have a wonderful day.